Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. All right. I hope everyone's had a great Merry Christmas. Hope everyone had a great week this week. Everyone's going to have a Happy New Year. Man, last year was definitely a roller coaster ride. And I like the fact that now we're back to a normal market. You know, whenever anybody asks me, man, how's real estate? How's market? Well, it's more of a normal market. We're getting back to a normal market. So, hey, without further ado, Wally, good morning. How are you today?
Hey, what's going on, Tom? How are you guys doing today?
Hey, doing well, doing well.
Good.
So, for the one person that may not know Wally, he's a best-selling author. He's a coach. He's a trainer. Has teams. So, and he's going to share what is so ever important right now, how to overcome objections. Originally, it was the top 4 objections, but I texted quite a few of you to find the top objections that we're seeing right now. And there were about 12 of them. I sent them over to Wally. So Wally, if you could share a little bit about yourself and let's rock and roll.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you here. My name is Wally Bressler, and I've been kicking around for a while here. I'm about to enter my 25th year in the real estate business. I've been coaching and training agents for just about 23 years. And so it's been quite a ride. I had a good opportunity to work with Tom's team. I see Cindy and Pete. I've worked with them. Just been around for a while, and I sold 72 houses in my first 14 months in the business. And I've been basically spending since 2001 working with real estate agents across the United States and Canada and helping them build teams. Currently I have a business. It's called Trigger Sales System, and I help people overcome sales call reluctance and challenges with getting in front of the camera. So anyway, good to see you guys here today. Let's get to it. We got some really, really good objections here. I think the overriding thought process here is, and for anybody here been in the business prior to 2013, I don't know if a few of you have. Anybody here? How many people here got in the business before 2013? Okay, so there's a few old people like me here, right? So, and the reason I ask is that if you haven't been in the business since prior to 2013, what you're going to see over the next year or two is going to be vastly different than what you've seen for the run up since then. And so to that extent, I think the first thing we need to take into consideration is that unlike since 2013, we're not looking to take people out or list houses with people who are not looking to do something, right? And they got a very, very basic minimum criteria. People need to be moving within the next 90 days. Okay. They need to have the financial wherewithal. Either they need to be able to get financing and or pay cash for a house, or they need to have equity in their home, which really shouldn't be a problem. Okay. And the last thing is there must be a life event. There's got to be an actual reason they want to move, a birth, a death, God forbid, getting a job, leaving a job, relocation, retirement. There's got to be something that's got a hard date associated with it. And here's why, is that if you're going to list somebody's home, you may need to get a price reduction. You may need them to make concessions to the buyer, right? You need to price it properly. And they're not going to do any of that stuff if they're not motivated. Does that make sense? Same thing with buyers. You're not going to get buyers to because right now the buyers are ready to give it all back to the sellers. Now I'm going to put in an 80% low offer, they're looking to stick it to people. There's people that are vengeful right now. They're angry. So you can't get people to do things that they need to do when they're not motivated. Is that fair? So we really have to qualify our prospects before we even take them out to go see houses or we go list their homes. So I think everything I'm going to talk about today presupposes that is the case. Does that make sense? Right. So that's really, really important. Okay. So let me see here. Hold on one second here. So the other thing is I'm going to share my screen here, and I can share this with everybody. Like when handling, can you guys all see my screen here? Yes. So handling an objection over the phone is different than handling an objection face to face. Like I don't have the opportunity to gain agreement by shaking my head or anything else like that. So I've got to have a strategy here. So I kind of created this formula here for you to follow when handling an objection over the phone. First thing is, and basically this is the process and this is what you need to do. So somebody gives you an objection. Hey, I'm going to wait. Okay. Right. So what I'm hearing is you're thinking of putting off your move. Cool. Hey, it makes perfectly good sense to me. right? People like to have their feelings validated. Nobody likes to be told that they can't do something, right? You should never say no to anybody unless like the no is, it's like, do I have to wait to buy a home? No. Right. But let's try not to say no. Anything is possible over the phone, right? We speak the language of possibility over the phone, language of reality face to face. Hey, I want you to come list my home and do it for 1%. Hey, I'm open to talking about it. When can I come to your home and take a look at your home and tell you how we can do it for 1%? Right. And then we're going to go ahead and peel back the layers of the onion. Hey, we want to wait. Okay, great. I can appreciate that. Let me ask you, what has you wanting to wait? Well, we don't want to move until spring. Okay, I can appreciate that. Let me ask you a question. What's important about spring? And in spring, are we talking March, April, May, June? Like, what are spring talking about? We're talking about, May. Okay. What's important about May to you? Well, we think we need to save more money. Okay, great. Has somebody told you didn't have enough money, or how much money have you set aside? We've got about $50,000. Okay, that's great. Did somebody tell you that wasn't enough money? No, we just thought we needed more money. All right, then I'm going to solve the problem. Well, let me ask you a question. If I could find you a home and you didn't need any more than $50,000, or if you needed less than that $50,000 to get in, would you be open to going ahead and looking now rather than later? Okay, and that's kind of how it works. So I'll attach this here. Give me 1 second here, folks. Sorry. So anyway, if that makes any sense, so I'll upload this before we hang up today. But the whole point is you have to take control of the conversation. And when people say it's not a good time to buy, of course it's a good time to buy. Well, thank you for thanks for saying that, and screw you, hang up. No, so anyway, does that make sense what I just showed you, folks? Right, that's the way you take it down, people down a path, and you handle the objection properly, you validate it, and then if I could, would you is your best friend over the phone, face to face too, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at these objections. Any questions about what I just covered first?
No, that's great. And then also, could you throw in isolate the objection as well as you go through?
Yeah, and so to your point, yes, I find that isolating it is a little easier face to face than over the phone, just because we don't have as much time. Right. I mean, historically, and like we're sitting with somebody and say, hey, I don't want to list my home with you, or hey, we want to wait. Okay, great. So what you're saying is ideally, if they tell you, well, I want to wait after you've gone on a listing appointment, you probably didn't do a good job qualifying. Let's just say they want to interview somebody else. Okay. And you're like, okay, great. That's fine. I can appreciate that. And so you repeat the objection. So you want to talk to other people. That's fine. And then you go ahead and like I said, validate it, and then you isolate it. Let me ask you a question. Is the only reason we're not doing business tonight is because you want to talk to other agents? Is that what I'm hearing? Any other reason? Nope, they really just want to talk to other people. Okay. And then you would go and handle it. Is that fair? Over the phone, it's a little tougher to isolate, what I'm saying? And usually over the phone, they just give you the one big objection. Does that make sense? So you might have to go through a couple of iterations, because I don't, over the phone, I don't want to say, is that the only reason you're not meeting with me here? Well, let me give you 5 more. So it's a little different over the phone. Does that make sense, Tom? Okay, cool. All right, let's rock and roll here. You guys, okay, I texted a bunch of agents. Interest rates if they need to buy. So obviously, interest rates are, it's like you want to buy Disney stock. Disney stock is the same cost for everybody, right? I go to A.G. Edwards, I go to Edward Jones, I go online. Disney stock is whatever, $100 a share. So here's the thing. So great. Okay, so same thing as before. Okay, so basically what you're saying is you think interest rates are a little high at the time. Yep. Hey, listen, I completely appreciate that. Let me ask you, what would you like interest rates to be? Like, where do they have to go in order for you to feel comfortable that you're moving forward? To a certain extent, that's a throwaway question because they don't know. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. So it's kind of maybe a throwaway because they're probably not going to know. Well, we just want it to go down. So here's a good one, right? What I'm hearing is that you're looking for a good deal. Is that the case? You're just looking for a good deal, right? Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, great, super. Because here's the thing, there are ways that we can actually get you an interest rate that's comparable to what you would have gotten if you had shopped earlier this year or even last year for a home. If I could get you into a home, or this is what I'd like to say, if I could find you the perfect home at the perfect price with a monthly payment that works for you now, would you be open to looking now rather than later? Right? Perfect home, perfect price is a great one. So if I can find you the perfect home at the perfect price with a monthly payment that works for you now, would you be open to looking now rather than later? Okay, you guys see that, right? Because really, and this is the thing, okay, and this is important. Let's write these down. Sellers, like, they all have a ladder of what's important to them, but overall, sellers want 3 things. They want their price, they want their time, and they want ease of doing business. Buyers want selection and then price and ease of doing business, right? So we always lead with, hey, let me, I'll go through the process of showing you how to buy a home. They don't care about that. I'm going to get you access to all the homes that are out there, including off-market properties. That's what they want, right? So if I'm talking to somebody and the whole point is that if they lead with interest rates, okay, I can appreciate that. Interest rates are a little crazy right now. What would you like interest rates to be? I don't know. They just need to go down. So what I'm hearing is you just want a good deal, right? You're looking for a great deal. Absolutely. You can even start with this. Home prices have come down on average in our market at least 10 to 15% since June. Interest rates have also come down, but we've got opportunities. Special financing is a good word. We've got special financing arrangements with our lender right now, where we can probably get you a rate that's comparable to what you would have gotten had you shopped for a home earlier this year or even last year. If I could find you the perfect home with the perfect price with a monthly payment that works for you now, would you be open to looking sooner? Does that resonate with everybody? That makes sense, right? That's, there's tons of ways to handle things. That's just the way that seems to work well for me. All right, who has anybody? Okay. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, here's the other thing. I just want to break this down. There's really only 6 categories of objections, and most objections are going to fall into those categories. So it's going to be like motivation / timing, right? So motivation, timing. So motivation, timing. I'm going to do it. Motivation, timing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have somebody else do it. Okay. I need to talk to somebody else. I need to talk to somebody. So motivation, timing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have somebody else do it. I need to talk to somebody. You can throw money out there separately, but money can be a timing thing. Does that make sense? So there's only 5 or 6 categories of objections, and everything falls under there. So if you can handle the objections in each of those categories, every objection handling strategy above and beyond that is pretty much an offshoot of that. Did you guys get all those? Right? Motivation, timing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have somebody else do it. I got to talk to somebody. All right. So, we want to wait. Okay, great. I can appreciate that. May I ask what it is you're waiting for? Well, they're going to need more money. They're going to need more time. They're going to wait for interest rates to come down. They want to wait for home prices to get better, right? So they need more time. Get clear. How much more time did you need? Well, we need until next June. Okay, I can appreciate that. What's important about June? Well, we don't want to move before our kids get out of school in June. I can appreciate that. Let me ask, if we found you the perfect home with the perfect price with a payment that works for you now, would you be looking to move sooner? Now we can't do it. Now I've got to nurture, right? Right. We need to save more money. Okay. How much more money do you think you need? Did somebody tell you that you didn't have enough money? We need to work on our credit. Okay. What is your credit? Did somebody tell you that your credit wasn't good enough? What, may I make a suggestion? Let me have you talk to our lender. He gets just about everybody pre-approved at the best rates. And let's make sure the amount of money you have and or your credit is good enough so you can move forward. If you have enough money and or if your credit is good enough, would you be open to looking sooner rather than waiting? You guys see the whole thing? I'm funneling everything down so I can find out, right? Because you peel back the layers of the onion, there's a center to that onion. I just want to find out what objection I'm handling. Fair enough? Because at the end of the day, it's one of those 5 things. All right. All right, let's keep going here. Haven't found the right place yet. Okay, so not the right time. We talked, haven't found the right place yet. Okay, what does the same thing? Okay, and again, I'm going to put them all in the same formula because this is recorded. If I were you guys, I would get this recording and then I would send it to rev.com and I'll probably charge you $40 for it. And they'll send it back to you and it'll be, mostly me. And you can cut it up and turn it into a scripts and dialogues manual for yourself. And then you can print it up and then you can listen to me. I mean, more people know me by my voice than my face, which is probably good for them, but I'm kidding. But, most people usually hear me, they don't see me. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so I haven't found the right place. Okay, great. I can appreciate that, right? Hey, listen, it makes sense. I mean, there's been some craziness in the real estate market lately. Let me ask, what is the right place for you? Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay, how have you been looking for homes? Here's a good one. Why do you think you haven't found that home yet? Okay. Well, look, and then if you guys have to have a little bit more of an offer here, listen, at our office, we've got a proprietary home hunter service. So, and if I know what style, price range, amenities, and areas you're looking in, I can make available all the homes that meet your criteria as soon as they hit the market. Is that something that would be helpful? Right? 7 out of 10 people are going to say yes to that because selections is the top of their ladder. Okay. If I could, would you? Great. When would be a good time for us to get together? So you're saying you haven't found the right home? Makes complete sense. I got that. How have you been finding homes? What is the right home? You know, why haven't you found the right home yet? Ask those questions. See if it's an issue with selection, lazy real estate agent, whatever it is. Cool. At our office, we've got a proprietary home hunter service. And if I know what style, price range, amenities, and areas you're looking in, I can make available all the homes that meet your criteria as soon as they hit the market. If you wanted to throw in and you'll beat other buyers and agents to those deals, you know, is that something you would find helpful? Most people are going to say yes. Okay, great. When's a good time for us to get together so I can get you set up on that? Any questions about that one? Who wants to move when it's below freezing? It's a darn good question. I'm sure that's not a big problem in Sacramento. Well, maybe it was this last weekend, but you know, and I would just, you know, here's the thing, you know, so basically what you're saying is you don't want to move when it's cold. Well, you know, we don't mind, but we don't think that sellers are going to want to move. Or, yeah, we don't really want to move in the ice cold. Okay, is it, you know, why is it you don't want to move in the ice cold? You know, if it's a health reason, that's one thing. You know, we just think it's, you know, we're not likely to find what we want, right? We just got to keep asking until we can find out what it is, right? You know, we just don't think there'll be enough homes available to us. Okay, great. Hey, that makes sense. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you know, homes that sell in the winter, the sellers are usually more motivated to sell their home because they're selling when it is freezing cold. And with what's going on in the market right now, sellers are willing to make concessions for closing costs. They're willing to make concessions to help you get a better interest rate on your home. They're willing to work with buyers these days. If we could find you the perfect home at the perfect price with a seller who's willing to put together a good deal for you, would you be open to looking sooner rather than later? Okay. Perfect home with the perfect price is a good one. This is going to start sounding really repetitive to you guys, but that's the whole point. I'm trying to demonstrate to you that there's not a whole lot of variables here. Okay. So once I find out what it is, and here's the thing, you can't be a chicken and be a good real estate agent. You have to ask hard questions, right? Logan, you're not a chicken, right? It's like, smile. No, the chicken's like, right? No, seriously, like you've got to be able to ask hard questions of people, you know, and not that they're all hard, but if I don't ask you the right questions, I'm going to go sit with you and you're not going to be the right person and I will have wasted my time. Right. And I'm asking you all kinds of good questions here. So you'll have these questions. And again, if you get this converted, you'll have this whole list of questions that you can ask. I think a lot of people are like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what questions I should be asking. Right. So, you know, these questions I'm asking, there's a finite list of them, but they're all really, really appropriate for what we're dealing with here. Okay. But a lot of, okay. Is this my good friend Jason Pendergraft, always commission, and also when they are contingent about not wanting to sign until they find something? Is that you, JP? No? How are you, buddy? Good to see you, by the way.
You too.
Yep. Okay, always commission. All right, so is that Jason on here then? Because I mean, I have questions. Ideally, we're never talking commission over the phone, right? You never talk commission, right? You don't talk about commission, you don't talk about price, you don't talk about length of contract. Right? You don't talk about stuff that you don't have any credibility or authority to negotiate with anybody on. Hey, listen, you know, some guy said he would do it for 3%. Would you do it for 3%? Hey, I'm open to it. When can I come by and talk to you about 3%? The whole point is when I get in front of them and I build that credibility and I build that authority and I demonstrate that value, I'm going to explain to that person why 3% is not going to be ample enough to get their home sold in this market. Fair? Right? Now, if we're face to face, it's a totally different story. We're trying to do it with the phone here, but we never talk about commission over the phone. Some of you are in markets where like, hey, I've got somebody that said they would give me a 1% credit of their commission towards my deal. Are you willing to give me a portion of your closing of your commission towards closing costs? Hey, I'm open to it. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. When's a good time for us to get together? Just real quickly, when you get together with these people, just say, listen, you know, I could give you 1 point, or with the system I have, I could save you tens of thousands of dollars by negotiating a good deal on the price and getting the seller to pay closing costs and maybe having the seller buy down your rate. And also getting you in touch with a lender who's not going to charge you a bunch of junk fees and get you a good rate on the mortgage, and have an inspector who's not going to blow up your deal and get you in touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can give you 1 point, or I can help you do something that's going to save you tens of thousands of dollars of the time you own the home. Does that make sense? Worst case scenario you can say is, if I don't save you X number of dollars, then I'll go ahead and give you a half a point at closing or whatever, right? Always doing a guarantee. Like if I can't save you overall $10,000 on this purchase, then I'll go ahead, or even if I can't save you the point that that person's going to give you, then I'll give it to you, right? In this market, you should be able to save somebody a point on a purchase for a house, fair? Right? But don't just roll over and give it to them. But on the phone, I'm willing to do whatever you need. You know, hey, listen, this guy said he would move in with me and cook me dinner for a month after I bought my house. You know, hey, listen, I'm open to talking to you about that. I'm a great chef. You know, when can I come over and talk to you about it? Whatever it takes, legally, ethically, and morally. All right. All right. Because I can't, you guys agree, there's stuff I just can't do over the phone, right? If I start talking about commission over the phone and this or pricing and stuff like that, I have no credibility, no authority, and I'm just like everybody else to them. So it doesn't really matter. All I have is change in monetary status to do that. That's all I have at that point. Any questions so far? I'm trying to slow down and talk a little faster. What's the wait until spring and summer? We talked about that. Right. The best question you can ask somebody is what's important about that time frame, or get clear. When you say summer, do you mean June, July, August, early September? Okay, great. What's important about that time frame? Then they'll tell you, and then if I could, would you, right? Always if I could, would you? They don't want to, okay, so here's one. People don't want to give up on their low interest rate. Been hearing that a little bit, okay? So this is key at the kitchen table and over the phone as well. It's fair to say that everybody's got a huge hunk of dough for the most part for their home, unless they've been ridiculously irresponsible with their money and they have like 9 mortgages on their home, right? Strong possibility people have 6 figures of equity in their home, right? In many cases. And if they, you know, and if they want to wait, maybe they're waiting for another 25, 30 grand, or they want to give up that interest rate. So here's the thing, you know, hey, I can appreciate that you want to hold on to that interest rate, but right now it looks like you might have somewhere $150,000 in equity in your home. You know, do you want to risk not being able to tap into that equity and miss out on that opportunity by not getting a good interest rate? The fact of the matter is that I can't get you, I don't know, your real estate agent would say, the fact of the matter is I don't know that we could get you 2.5%, but right now there's some special financing options that could get you something pretty close to that. And at the same time, you'd have, you know, $150,000 in the bank where you could make up the difference, you know, by investing it or whatever. Is that fair? Now, if I'm sitting in front of somebody, I'll probably do the math for them, right? Let's just say, you know, they have 2.5 and they're going to get 4.5. So they get an extra 2 points on their mortgage. I don't want to do the math right now, but you know, it's every 10,000, 1 point. So let's just say it increases their home payment by $400 a month, right? That's $4,800. You know, so, and most people live in their house 10 years, that's 48 grand, right? So basically they invested 48 grand to make 150. Do you see the math on that? Like you're going to pay an extra 48 grand, but now you get that was to make 150 grand, and they'll get tax write-offs on that, right? They'll also be building equity in their new home. But that's not something we can do over the phone. We got to do that face to face. But, and that's the same thing for everybody. Hey, I want to wait. I think my home should sell for more. Hey, listen, I'd love to sell your home for $1 million. Absolutely. This is face to face. I'd love to do that. But, you know, right now, I think we've seen everything I've shown you. You can see right now where home prices are. And, you know, I think we've really dug deep on that. You know, you've got $125,000 in equity in your home. Do you really want to go ahead and risk $125,000 to wait a year or two to get 25 grand more when we have no clue what's going to happen? Right? You know, show me is always better than tell me. Here, I'll share this with you real quickly here. This is one of my favorite charts here. Hold on, let me share this with you real quickly. Hold on. So I'll put this link in here too. But so this right here, let me find that later. So you can see right here, this is home prices since 1987. You folks can see this, yeah? Yes?
Yes.
Shake your heads, thank you.
Yep.
So look, there's only been one, there's only like this right here is about 32%. I did the math, about 32% here. Other than that, there's really been no precipitous increase in homes over a 2 to 3 year period. I mean, even here it was a lot rockier too, right? So the whole point is you wait 2 or 3 years, you may not see this. And by the way, this is the double dip recession in the early 90s when the Gulf War was. This is the .com bubble burst here. This is our good friend, the Great Recession. This right here is COVID. By the way, you'll notice that other than the recession that was caused by the real estate market, you'll notice that they were either flat or improved over all 3 of these. Something to take into consideration. The whole point is that when you show people, they say, listen, you want to wait 3 years, but historically, 3 years doesn't make your home jump a whole lot in price. And quite honestly, you're really running the risk of your home not really improving in value. And just to be a complete nerd, I went to home prices as of 1955. You really want to be a complete nutbag about this like I was, it's even more telling of the fact that we haven't really had any, I mean, this is like, I mean, dead is almost like a flat line here, but it's been very, very steady. Okay. And even after the recession, it took a while to get back. In fact, it took like, this is 2007. It took until, I think it was like almost 2015 or 16 to get back to where we were. Okay. Does that make sense to everybody? So, I'll put both these links in here before we bounce today. The whole point is, when you show people what they need to see as you're talking to them, it makes it a lot easier for them to make the decision to move forward. Now, you can't do that over the phone, but if I'm sitting with somebody, say, listen, you can wait, it's perfectly okay to wait, but here's my concern. You've got $125,000 in equity here. And if you look at this chart here, basically the fact of the matter is that any 2 to 4 year period in history has not been a significant jump. And quite honestly, with what's going on with interest rates and inflation right now, there's no guarantee that we're going to be anything better than flat right now. Do you really want to risk the 125K that you can have in the next 90 days for the potential of getting 25 more over the next years? Okay. I'll make sure you guys get both of those website links. Does that make sense? Everything I said, everybody, guys, that makes sense, but I can't do that over the phone. I got to do it face to face. Okay. Any questions? I'm going to keep rolling here. Okay. The price of my home was way more than that. Again, that's a face to face thing. You're not going to talk about price over the phone. I mean, one of the programs we've been using is House Canary, and it's a pricing software, really, really good stuff. And it actually, it was created for investors originally, but it allows you to go ahead and look very specifically at homes in a specific area. It color codes the market based on how well the market's performing, and it allows you to compare homes. You can make adjustments on it, but it really lets you drill down to show people, and here's the thing, somebody says that my house is worth more than that house down the road. You can go click on what that house looks like in the interior pictures. If it's been listed in a recent period, that home has, granite countertops and tile and hardwood floors, and you can show them what they need to see. Say, listen, I think your home is worth this much, but. All right, finishing up the holidays first. Well, as of Sunday, the holidays are over, right? So maybe waiting is a better idea right now. Okay, I can appreciate that. May I ask why you want to wait? What are you waiting for? Same thing. Funnel it down to why they're waiting. If I were to move now, my interest rate would be way higher than I currently have. We talked about that. We want to wait. We want to wait for prices to come down before making a move. Okay, great. Same thing over the phone. Hey, listen, I can appreciate that you want to wait for prices to come down. That makes sense for me. Let me ask you, how much lower would you like them to go? Like, put it on them a little bit and see what they say. Because sometimes they're just, it's a knee-jerk reaction, right? They've gotten so many calls, a conditioned response. We think they're going to go down another 10 to 15%. Okay, where are you seeing that? I just been seeing that. Okay, I follow the market pretty closely. Now, if you guys go to, I like to use Altos, Altos research, really, really good. I would, again, you just need to know this information. This is certainly something you can, please hold. Where is my reports? So we'll go Sacramento proper here. So you can't go over this over the phone, but you certainly bring it with you, and there's certainly things you can share from what we have here. But hey, listen, we want to wait for home prices to come up. Okay, well, go down. I mean, the fact of the matter is home prices have actually come down pretty significantly here, right? That's about a 10 would be 490. So it's like a 12% reduction of homes that have been on the market, and it's 75, 80, 45, 55, 55. So that's what, about 5.5, 7. So look, home prices have already come down 7 to 10% in the last 3.5 months. Fact of the matter is that, home prices have already settled. It's still a bit of a seller's market, and that's all I'm going to say over the phone. I mean, we've already seen a decent amount of settling. Plus, we do run the risk that interest rates are going to go up. However, if I can find a buyer that's willing to pay your price now, so you could lock in whatever, equity you've already built, would you be open to speaking with them? Would you open to let me show you how I can do that? Or if I can get you more money for your home now, knowing that you're going to make more now rather than waiting, would you open to finding out how I could do that for you? Okay. And because home prices, I mean, they've settled, what I'm saying, but this is all the different price ranges in Sacramento. I mean, they've gradually come down there. I mean, I don't know, these somehow the top tier has gone up. I think, some people may have been overly optimistic, but anyway, you should definitely take a look at these reports. But the whole point here is, hey, listen, I don't know if prices are going to come down, because they've already really settled since June after what happened with all the mortgages. And here's the other thing you can say to people: hey, the Fed said that they're not going to drop rates until inflation gets better. By the way, it takes a year, just so you know in your own mind, it takes a year for the economy to actually adjust to changes in interest rates as far as inflation is concerned. So even though inflation has settled a little bit, we're not going to see the effects of all the changes they made over the second and third quarter until this time next year, right? So if you're waiting for home prices to come down, it's not going to, and it's very simple. The government said they're not going to reduce any interest rates until inflation comes down. It could be at least a year before or more before inflation comes down, you know? And this is why we want to make sure that we're only going over to house to visit people for listings and buyer deals when we know they're looking to make a move and they have to move, right? Okay, so hey, listen, it could be a year or more. Did you really want to wait a year or more to go see your grandkids? Did you really want to wait a year or more to go ahead and move to Florida and not have to shovel snow anymore? Okay, does that make sense, everybody on that? You guys with me? All right, what else? Our government is volatile and I'm scared what's going to happen. I am too. Oof. Well, I mean, was our government not volatile during COVID? Right? Probably one of the most volatile times in history, and the market went up 32%, right? So I would just, what specifically about the government concerns you, right? Because I think, the president has influence over economic policy, but at the end of the day, the Fed it's going to really control interest rates and what happens with banks and stuff. So I would, and again, it's just the if then. Hey, listen, I'm really thinking our government's a mess, and I'm scared about what's going to happen. You know what? I think that's a fair thing to say. I don't disagree with you. What specifically about the government are you concerned about? Right? Who knows? Maybe it's just a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, hey, whatever they say, that that makes sense. I guess my question is: are you going to stop living in a home? You know what I'm saying? You're going to stop living your life. I mean, we have no idea what the government's going to do, but there's Congress, there's the Fed, there's lots of organizations that offer checks and balances on what the president's going to do. I guess my question is if we could find you the perfect home with the perfect price with a monthly payment that works for you now, or if we could get your home sold for the price you're looking for, find a buyer that's going to pay your price and close at a time acceptable to you, irrespective of what happened to the government, will that work for you? Those people may be some conspiracy theorists, and maybe that's not the kind of person you want anyway. If you drive up to their house and you see them digging some sort of bunker in the front of their home, I would just keep driving. That's just me. Waiting for the market to go back up. We talked about that. I have no place to move. Well, so there's still, generally speaking, there's still a bit of an inventory shortage, right? And then, so I have no place to move. Okay, I can appreciate that. Is it that you don't think we can find you a place, or that you haven't been able to find a place up until this point? Is that what you're saying? Well, we really just haven't seen anything. Okay, great. Listen, at my office, I've got a proprietary software program. It's a home hunter service. If we know what style, price range, amenities, and areas you're looking in, I can actually get you access to all the homes that meet your criteria as soon as they hit the market, and you'll beat other buyers and agents to them. And the good news is you don't have to sell your home until you find a home that you're like. So you don't have to worry about being homeless. If I could find you that home, and then you could go ahead and move with peace of mind that you don't have to be homeless, would that work well for you? Okay. I just want to know what it's worth now. Okay, great. I mean, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody wants to know what their home is worth, I can appreciate that. What has you looking for the value of your home? There's got to be a reason for it. Don't say, are you looking for tax purposes? Are you looking for this? Because then they can just say yes. I think on TV, they say that's leading the witness, right? We don't want to lead the witness. We don't want to put words in their mouth. I just want to know what it's worth now. Okay, that's great. It's a good time to ask about the value of your home. Let me ask, what has you looking for the value of your home? Well, we're just trying to get an idea. We've seen houses in the neighborhood selling, and we're just going to go ahead and see what it's worth. Okay. I mean, is there a price at which you'd be looking to sell? Maybe you could ask them that question and they tell you what price would that be. And if they're off their rocker, you may just want to nurture them. But if they sound moderately reasonable, well, I think you could get that for your home now. If we could find a buyer who's want to pay your price and close at a time acceptable to you now, would you be open to letting me show you how I can do that? Interest rates. I have no place to move. I list, but I don't have to sell. So I'm going to take anything less than I ask. Well, let's find out what that amount is worth. Interest rates. How can you make sure I get what I want for my house? Well, I don't know what you want for your house, right? How much do you want for your home? Well, I don't know. Okay, well, there's got to be a number. I mean, what are you thinking? Well, I don't know. That's why we're asking you. We want to figure out what the price is. Okay. Well, can you give me an idea? You must have an idea of what you want for your home. I mean, clearly you've been looking around what's happening in your neighborhood. Try and get them to commit to something, right? And then see if you can at least get a range out of them. And then, so, well, let me, here's the thing, but based on what you're telling me, and I know your area well, that sounds like a reasonable thing. If we could get you that price, if we could find a buyer that was going to pay your price and then close at a time acceptable to you, would you be open to letting me show you how I can do that for you? Right? I sound like a broken record. I understand that, but that's the whole point of, being on the phone, is that you compartmentalize everything to the point where there's only so much you have to say. Market has changed. What's your marketing strategy to sell my home ASAP? Oh my God. I'm doing that because I can already, because I do this thing called Call the Competition, where I do trainings and I call agents in people's areas so we can hear how they handle calls and stuff like that. And some people will literally try and do their entire presentation over the phone. What's your marketing strategy to sell my house ASAP? And when you say ASAP, how quickly did you want to move? Like, what's your time frame? We want to move in the next 60 to 75 days. Okay. Average time on market in this area is about 63 days. So, basically, the time frame you want to sell your home is really what time to sell now. If you want to sell quicker than that, there's other things we can do, basically. And then here's the thing, on average, and this is good for you to know your stats, on average, my time on market is this many days. I get my clients on average 4.5% more for their homes than what average agents do. When can I come by and first take a look at your home and find out what you're looking to accomplish, and then show you what I do that other agents don't do to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest period of time. I want to try and sell on my own first and then engage an agent if not sold over the next 30 days. Okay, so same thing. I got it. Certainly perfectly reasonable. You want to sell your home yourself. May I ask, what is it? Why is it you're trying to sell it yourself first? NAR would tell us that the number one reason that they're selling it themselves is, first and foremost, they think they're going to save money. Secondarily is that they don't like real estate agents, but number one is money. Okay. So basically, what I'm hearing is that you want to go ahead and make more money for your home. Okay, great. I can appreciate that. I'm not sure. By the way, guys, this is the truth. And if you don't have the NAR profile for 2021, you need to go get it. It's $19.99 on NAR. But even in 2021, the average for sale by owner left 16% of their equity on the table. In like the single best market in years, they left 16% of their home on the price of their equity on the table. So I think you can say it in this market. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but in the last year, the average for sale by owners left up to 16% of their equity on the market. 16% of the value of their home on the market. Even if I just stuck a sign in your front lawn and put it on the MLS, I would save you more than half of that. If I can get you more money for your home, even after my fee, than you could get yourself, would you be open to letting me show you how I could do that? Right? Here's the thing. If I can't, then you can still sell your home by yourself and have a field day. But if I can show you how I can get you more money for your home, have you walk away with more even after my fee than you can get yourself, would that be something that was of interest to you? If they say yes, great. If they say no, it's a nurture. Market needing to save money. I mean, yeah, I made an appointment. I made another appointment the other day, yesterday, and convinced the lady the day before to let me hunt for a house in her price range despite market prices. Okay, can't afford to buy. If I sell that low, I just rent. I can't afford to buy if I sell that low, I'll just rent. That's a face-to-face objection. So I mean, how much money do you need to buy your new home? Sometimes you need to do the math for people, right? We got special financing. We probably can get you a rate, 2 points lower than it is now. That would give you a monthly payment of X. You'd have $75,000 for a down payment. You're saying you wouldn't be able to afford another home with that. Can I get my, we have a few minutes here. Can I get my lender on the phone right now? And let's just see what a monthly payment would look like for you based on what we're talking about. Okay. Not ready to sign anything. I'm ways away. Well, then you shouldn't have gone on that appointment. Fair. If you're sitting across the table from somebody, they say they're not ready to sign anything, then, you probably didn't do a good job on your timing and motivation. Now, if they say that anyway, you could say, okay, well, when we talked on the phone and when I sat down with you and confirmed everything you told me on the phone earlier, you told me that you needed to be out of here in 45 days because of X. Okay, I'll be done in a sec here, Tom, because of X. And just remind them of what they said. Something changed in the last hour that I've been here. Okay. Other than that, it's pretty much all the same stuff. Was that helpful, guys? What I said today, you're gonna have to go back and listen to it. I did plow through a bunch of stuff in a short period of time here. I love you guys too. Thank you. All right, let me put these links in here real quickly. If you want to ask any questions, go ahead and ask a question while I'm here. I can answer any questions. I got a minute here before while I'm grabbing this stuff for you if you want to ask a question or two. So there's Altos. Comments, concerns, thoughts?
Great stuff. Do you ever get pushback? People say, oh, well, you're just such a great sales guy. All you're doing is handling my objections, versus, I mean, do you ever get any of that? I'm curious.
Because I don't think people know what an objection is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I could say, yeah, I'm a great sales guy, and that's why you want me to come here and help you get your home sold, because I know what I'm doing. And if anybody's going to get your home sold for the most amount of money in the least amount of time, it's me. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, or hey, do you think I'm a great sales guy? Thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. You're selling your home. Do you want a bad sales guy or a good sales guy? Anybody else? Does that help?
Wally, real quick,
Yeah.
when you get a condition versus an objection, how would you handle your follow-ups with that person? Is it just based on the timing of their condition, or are
Give me
you?
an example.
So
All the
like,
links are there, by the way, guys.
so
All the
like,
links in the chat. Go ahead.
condition would be like, I can't move until I retire in June.
Okay.
Because I have to stay with my company until June, and they're moving out of state. So how often would you be following up with that person? I guess is the
I mean,
question.
my normal course of events here. I'm actually going to give you guys a 21 profile because the year's pretty much over and the 22 will be coming up, but I uploaded that. And I'll answer your question in a second, Pete. So basically all three links, Altos, that 88 since 87 pricing, price model since 55 pricing model, and the 2021 profile buyers and sellers have all been uploaded for you guys here, and you can grab them. So to answer your question, I mean, the first thing I would ask him is, let me ask you a question. I mean, I might even dig a little deeper. Would you pay for your home? We paid about 200,000. And what do you think it's worth now? We think it's worth about 450. Okay. So assuming that's right, after everything, you may be probably walking away with $200,000. If you could get $200,000 and put in the bank now and even rent for the next 6 months, and secure that amount of money for your retirement, would you be open to looking to move sooner? No, we definitely don't want to move twice. No problem. That's great. Okay. So we're talking June. So I always cut the time in half and then walk back a little bit. So we got what January, February, March, April, May, June, May, April, March. I'd probably call them late February, early March. Cut the time in half, walk it back, right? Because it's always good to be early. You're late. You're SOL, right? Sorry, you're out of luck. So walk it back half time and then walk it back a little further. And then you talk to them again, you check in again, and then cut it in half. And by that time or less, and they're ready to go, right? And then real quickly, there's this thing called an OUI. It's one unique piece of information. Every time you're on the phone, grab something unique about the conversation that you can bring up to make that connection and rapport. So like, hey, your retirement's coming up. Great. So I'm calling them again at the end of February. Hey, Pete, it's Wally. How you doing? Great. You still on track for retirement at the end of June? Hey, do you think they're going to throw a party for you? They still gold watches out when people retire these days. They gave me a clock. Oh, great, good. And then you break it in half again. Hey, is that clock still telling time? By the way, when you guys, always get something you can bring up on the next call to show them you care, that you're listening, and to really ratchet up that rapport.
Awesome. Thank you.
Was this helpful for you guys today?
Totally.
I know I plowed through a bunch of stuff. I wanted to make sure I got a bunch here. Get this recording. Tom will give it to you. You can download recordings these days and listen to them again. Again, I would send this to rev.com, get it transcribed. I would mess with it and turn it into a little scripts and dialogue booklet and have it and review it. Listen, everybody have a safe New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. I appreciate you all. 2023 is going to be an interesting year, but if you're willing to do the work, it'll happen for you. Bye, guys. Take care.